Okay, in this video we'll discuss samples and sample statistics. So a complete enumeration of a population is a census. A sample is a part of a population that we observe in an attempt to get insights about the population. Now, why do we use samples? Well, here's the most common reason and most important. If the population is large, like we have over 200 million registered voters in the United States, it's impractical to ask every voter who they're for. I mean, we just can't do that. It's just too complex. So sampling involves examining fewer items than a census. That's another reason we sample. And that reduces measurement error because you don't have as many points of information to analyze for measurement error. And finally, sampling could involve destroying elements of a population. For example, if you test a computer chip to see if the chip is defective, you may destroy the chip. And so if you did that to every chip that you produced, you'd have no chips to sell. So how do we estimate population parameters? We use a function of the sample data called a sample statistic to estimate a population parameter. So here are some examples. If you want to estimate the median income of Houston families, you might take a sample of 100 Houston families and use the median income in the sample to estimate the population of Houston's median family income. If you want to estimate the fraction of defective chips in a population, you might test 100 chips and look at the fraction of defective chips in the sample to estimate the fraction of defective chips in the population. So for example, if you tested 100 chips and 5 were defective, maybe your best guess is 5% of the chips produced that day are defective. You could estimate the average weight of all the cows in India by perhaps weighing 100 cows and using the average weight of all the cows in the sample to estimate the average weight of all the Indian cows. You could estimate the fraction of registered voters for Hillary Rodham Clinton in 2016 by looking at the fraction of registered voters in a sample that were for Hillary Rodham Clinton. And I think we probably saw plenty of polls during the election, particularly if you looked at realclearpolitics.com that summarized the polls. Now, in the next video, we'll talk about the definition of a simple random sample and how you can take a simple random sample from a population.